Deceased North Korean leader Kim Jong-il's official biography lists among his achievements a 38-shot round of golf, the ability to control weather, the need to never have to poop, and being the creator of the hamburger. There were at least 42 known assassination plots against Hitler. After the movie Princess and the Frog came out, more than 50 people were hospitalized with salmonella poisoning from kissing frogs. A single factory in Ireland makes more than 90% of the world's Botox. One quick kick from a giraffe can kill a lion. During the 1600s, there was tulip mania in Holland, where tulips were more valuable than gold. This is the first reported economic bubble. When people came to their senses, the bubble burst and caused the market to crash. The human eye can see a candle flickering up to 30 miles 48 km away on a dark night. 1 out of every 4 cranes in the world is located in Dubai. The country's artificial palm islands also used enough sand to fill 2.5 Empire State Buildings. Studies have been shown that people with creative minds find it harder to fall asleep at night and prefer to stay up later. Today there are more people suffering from obesity than there are suffering from hunger. The Philippine island of Luzon contains a lake that contains an island that contains a lake that contains another island. Iceland has no army and has been recognized as the most peaceful country in the world for the last 6 years. In comparison, the UK is 44 and the US sits at 100. There's an alarm clock named Clocky that has wheels and runs away and hides if you don't get out of bed on time. If you search askew in Google, the screen will tilt slightly clockwise. If you left Tokyo by plane at a.m., you would arrive at Honolulu at approximately p.m. the previous day due to the 19-hour difference in time zone. The original founders and owners of Macy's, Isidore and Ida Strauss, both died on the Titanic, and they were the old couple in the movie who went to sleep as the ship went down, which is what actually happened. In 1939, the New York Times predicted that the television would fail because the average American family wouldn't have enough time to sit around watching it. Citizens of Norway pay half taxes in November so they can have more money for Christmas. There has only been 240 years of peace in the last 3,000 years. Fully grown giraffes only have 7 vertebrae in their necks, the same number as humans. 1/3 of the world's polar bear population lives in Canada. Backpfeifengeschicht is a German word that means a face that badly needs a punch. Flamingos are born gray, but change to the pink color we see because of the shrimp they eat, which dyes their feathers. Inventor Nikola Tesla and author Mark Twain were best friends and were mutual fans of each other's work. There is a 10-year-old girl named Esther Okade who is already enrolled in university and has the highest exam scores in her class. She mastered algebra at the age of 4. According to a study done in 2001 by Diane Reese of the Osborne Laboratory of Marine Sciences at the New York Aquarium, dolphins actually recognize themselves and notice changes in their appearance when looking in a mirror. Prior to this research, only higher primates such as humans and chimpanzees had demonstrated self-recognition in mirrors. The Kikuaburitsubo Marine Park in Japan has tiny holes in the otter enclosure which allows visitors to shake hands with these animals. Until 1987, all surgeries performed on infants were done without anesthesia, under the belief that infants were not capable of feeling pain. The unborn babies of a female sea louse actually chew their way out of the mother's insides to be born. There are approximately 10 quintillion insects on the planet. That's 10 with 18 zeros behind it, or roughly 200 million insects per human. There exists a set of 19 questions among doctors such as, do we have the right patient and what operation are we performing, known as the safe surgery checklist, which has been proven to reduce surgical deaths by more than 40%. There is only one species of warm-blooded fish on Earth, the opa. In 1888, a pigeon keeper and a beekeeper challenged each other's creatures to a 3.5-mile 6-kilometer organized race in Germany. The bee won by 25 seconds. There are giant pink slugs found only in the subalpine reaches of Mount Caputer, Australia. They can reach up to 8 inches long and on a good day, you can see hundreds of them. Right-handed people live, on average, 9 years longer than left-handed people. Conception occurs most in the month of December. The only nation whose name begins with an A, but doesn't end in an A is Afghanistan. Will Purvis, who was convicted of murder in 1894 and had always maintained his innocence, told the jury he would live longer than the lot of them. He survived a hanging, was re-incarcerated, and eventually pardoned and released. He died in 1938, 3 days after the last juror had died. When PayPal was started, they gave $20 to everyone that made an account and $20 for every person they referred. This cost them 70 million, but they had 100,000 customers in the month PayPal went online. The 1982 movie Poltergeist used real skeletons as props because they were cheaper than plastic skeletons. Australian wallabies have been found to make crop circles in Tasmania after ingesting opium poppies. Edward Norton's first film role ever earned him an Oscar nomination. He is also a Yale graduate that never went to an acting school. Nazis kidnapped hundreds of thousands of Polish children that they deemed to be racially superior to other children and forcibly Germanized them. Only 10-15 kids ever returned back home. The word fuck was first used in 1568, but was most commonly used between 1700 to 1720. It disappeared from the English language for 150 years in the 1800s-1900s, but is now once again climbing in popularity. Swiss researchers found that out of 37 million companies worldwide, 147 firms control about 40% of global wealth and 737 control 80%. When Michael Jackson died, Google mistook millions of searches for a DDoS attack and blocked related searches for 30 minutes. J. Edgar Hoover hated John Steinbeck so much that he used his influence to have the IRS audit Steinbeck every single year of his life. Butt was a medieval unit of measure for wine. Technically, a buttload of wine is about 475 liters or 126 gallons. Over 800 people tried to accurately guess the weight of an ox at a fair in 1906. Although not a single person guessed the correct weight, the mean average of all the guesses was within 0.8% of the ox's actual weight. Although Martin Luther King Jr. was only 39 at the time of his death, autopsy results revealed he had the heart of a 60-year-old. Doctors believe this was a result of stress. A Croatian man, Frane Selic, escaped death several times throughout the mid-1900s, including but not limited to falling out of an airplane, being hit by a bus, and swerving off a road and over a cliff to avoid an auto accident. In 2003, he purchased his first lottery ticket and won. It used to be compulsory for figure skaters to slowly trace precise, intricate shapes into the ice to be inspected by judges for scoring, hence the name figure skating. The weight of the human brain triples during the first year of life, going from 300 grams to 900 grams. The neurotransmitter serotonin was first isolated in 1933. The first VAD, with psychology in its title, was given to Granville Stanley Hall at Harvard University in 1878.